Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips. Get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today. You just found the perfect product that helps with staying cool during hot summer runs. No more gross warm water. Stay cool with this product from Gear Handle. This hydration tube cover helps keep your water cool and easily accessible. Stay hydrated during those long summer runs or even delay from freezing in the winter. Plus, they're compatible with various brands of water bladders and come in various colors. Visit gearhandle.com and use promo code H2O today.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. This is Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Central Texas Life. Ann Harder here with you. And I want to introduce you to what's called a serial entrepreneur and marketing expert. It's Lindsey Huettner from Dallas. And Lindsey, it's just a delight for me to get to talk to someone who is such an expert in this field. I don't know that I've ever done an interview with someone who's really in the deep weeds. I guess.
Really?
When it comes to marketing. But you have such an interesting story. And before we got going, you told me that you got married in Waco. You're in Dallas now.
Yeah, I got married right outside of Waco at a ranch called Moon River Ranch.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
But what you do now, you have It Crowd, a marketing company in Dallas, but you founded this 10 years ago, but your journey to that point is pretty interesting. So, Lindsey, if we could let's go back and your schooling, what kind of led you to this kind of work?
Sure. Yeah. So I'll make it as short as possible. I had a full ride to go to a private school for soccer, a D1 soccer school. And I didn't take that because of a boy. So last minute, I called my coach and was like, hey, I'm not going to be there in the next 2 weeks. And that was surprising to him. That was surprising to my parents. That was surprising to everyone, as you can imagine. And that's kind of started it all. I ended up going into the restaurant industry, which I still absolutely love today. I joke with my husband saying, if I could get back into the restaurant industry and be a bartender, that would be so fun for me. But alas, I'm a wife and have children, and it's just not in the cards for me. But I started as a bartender, and through that, I always knew that I wanted to do my own thing, and I also knew that I didn't want to be a bartender for the rest of my life. And so I knew that if there was any sort of opportunity that came to me, I needed to grab it. And so I had two gentlemen. They were from the UK at the time, and they were regulars at the restaurant that I was a bartender at. And they would come in and I would talk to them about their commercial real estate firm that they had. And they were building a location here actually in Dallas. And at one point I just finally said, look, if you guys ever need help, please let me know. I would love to help in any capacity. I had no business saying that to them. It was just kind of, this is what came to me. And I decided that I should say it. And they looked at me and they said, Lindsey, we've been waiting for you to ask us that. You actually remind us of our top salesperson in the UK. You're hired. And it was on the spot that I was hired. Now, granted, I didn't know what the salary was. I didn't know anything like that. I actually took a 75% pay cut. But at that point, I knew that I needed to get into something. And I was with them for quite a few years. I got to travel all over the United States. I got to travel to the UK and train, and it was an unbelievable experience. But again, that need for wanting to do something more and wanting to do something for myself continued. And so I started small. I had a small, I guess it wasn't super small by the time I was done with it, but I had a pet sitting company when I was little. That grew to about 1,200 clients by the time I got it. So
how little were you? How young were you when you started this company?
Well, so my parents said that I needed to get a job, right? What does that mean to a 16-year-old, 15-year-old? That's babysitting. Mm-hmm. So it kind of started around that age. But by about 20, that's when I had let that business go to another company and sold that. So we grew that quite large, which was exciting. And like I said, a story for a different day. But through that, all of my businesses became larger and larger. So I was still doing commercial real estate and doing that, but then I was moonlighting, doing my own thing too. So that included red box machines. You can't buy red box machines, but you can buy similar ones. And I had those in apartment complexes. So I'd be up at 3-4 a.m. running to Walmart every week, getting all of the new ones and taking them around around Dallas before I had to go to work. I had a snow cone stand. So after work, I'd go to the snow cone stand during the summers. And then I really liked businesses. So Groupon was a huge thing at that point. And I loved their business model at the time. And I was like, I can do this for the local Dallas DFW area. So I created one of those. And that's where I learned how to build websites, how to not only do B2B marketing, but also B2C marketing, how to do email campaigns, how to do social media, how to do blog, all of those things I started learning very much so at that point. I ended up selling that company to a larger franchise out of New York. And then I had a girlfriend that said, do you want to buy a clothing store? And Anne, let me tell you, I said, no. I was like, that sounds like the worst thing that you could ask me to do.
Really?
She goes, well, I'll do all the clothing stuff. You do all the business stuff. And I said, fine. A few years later, she was asked to leave the company. But I ended up being able to expand it to a location in Fort Worth and then the online store. And so the online store, as a small boutique, we were one of the only in the United States because I knew that that's where we were going. And so through all of these experiences, I was learning more and more and more and more about marketing. And that's where the It Crowd started. So about 10 years ago, I was looking for something or someone or anything to help me with my marketing, and I couldn't find what I wanted. And so knowing me, I built it.
Why not?
And here we are.
Why not? But I presume, through all this, you made some mistakes, but as I understand it, they were successful businesses in that you sold all of them. You didn't have to fold any.
Yeah. So that has been, I've made tons of mistakes. So please don't get me wrong. I don't think that there's any entrepreneur that doesn't make every mistake many, many times. But I have been blessed to be able to sell those companies. So that has been fun.
Well, speaking of mistakes, what do you think is the biggest mistake in marketing by a business owner?
Yeah. There are so many things to do in marketing. I mean, it's unbelievable how much stuff is out there that you can do for marketing, and all of it is shiny and it's really exciting. And I find that there are a lot of businesses. I'll give you an example right now. There's a guy that has come to me and I'm putting together a proposal for him right now. And he said, Lindsey, I need a social media presence. I need to create we're a startup. I need my social media pages created, and that will get me business. And I looked at him and I was like, I would not be a good steward of your money if I told you that would get you business, because it doesn't anymore. Social media is a pay to play game. And so business owners, they want to go after all of these shiny things, but I tell them, start with the basics. Start with the basics and do those really, really well. Do social media, but understand what it is. Have unbelievable branding, but also get out there and do some of the traditional marketing. Make sure that you're part of the chambers. Make sure that you're part of networking groups. Make sure that you're going to trade shows. These things are not dead. And this is the basis for what you need to be doing. And after you start doing that and you start doing those things well, now let's go after the shiny objects. Let's go after any sort of print advertising or any sort of advertising online. Let's go after throwing events. Let's go after different things that sound fun and exciting, but let's get your baseline where it needs to be first. That's what I'd say is the most common mistake.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned the trade shows and chambers of commerce. And I mean, you have to physically be a part of your community or a part of your, group that you want to have as your customer base.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, though, you've got some over the years, over 10 years time, some pretty amazing success stories. What kind of comes to your mind as someone who's come to you with a great idea? Let's do this thing, and you kind of help them along.
Yeah, we've had a lot of clients, and it's it can bring tears to my eyes of the amount of clients that we've had and the amount of our vision is to create everlasting thumbprints. And that's not just for us, but that's also for our clients.
You use that in your logo as a thumbprint. I guess is that part of it? Yeah. That's cool.
And it's our job to make sure that our thumbprint is spread. And that's what we want to do for our clients as well. And it has been unbelievable to have business owners that come back to you and say that you have helped them make their dreams come true. Mm. It has been unbelievable to have multiple customers that have been teammates and employees of companies that have moved on to other companies that have taken us with them. I go back, we keep everything, we keep all of our files and whatnot. And every once in a while, the team will have me go back and look at all of the different clients that we've helped. And that's why we do it. Mm-hmm. We do good things, we make great people and pursue opportunities to love and serve others. And I can say that while some years we've been better at that than others, we've definitely hit our stride and it's really good.
Well, you mentioned getting married at about when COVID was happening. Your experience as a business owner during that time when everything the world was kind of turned upside down, and some things haven't really gone back. Would you say have gone back to normal or not?
I wouldn't say that. So I don't think that things have gone back to normal. Uh-huh. At least in marketing, the marketing landscape has changed a lot. I think that specifically with trade shows and events and those types of things, clearly that changed a lot. A lot of it has come back. A lot of it has come back with a vengeance because people are desperate for that connection. I'm starting to see that level off, but what I'm seeing more of just on a business landscape is companies that are trying to get their employees into work. And is that something that's important anymore? Yeah. Or is it okay to do things virtually? So I was the boss that if I didn't see you, you weren't working. And COVID changed that.
Yeah, it did.
We are completely virtual now. We had we had a 6,000 square foot office down in the middle of Dallas. I got to create it all and build it all out. And everyone came into the office every single day. And after COVID, we started doing a hybrid. And I said, you know what? We can expand across the United States and even across the globe with our footprint if I have people that are not just specifically in Dallas because they have to come into the office. Sure. And so I think that's changed the majority of people's perspective on life, on business, on marketing, on all of it. So I don't think that we'll ever go back to exactly where it was.
Now, you mentioned globally. Where are some of the other locations where crowd is?
Yeah, we have teammates all over the world now, which is really kind of cool.
Wow.
So we have teammates that clearly are still here in Dallas. We have teammates that are in Florida. We have one teammate that's in Pakistan. We have a few teammates that are in the Philippines. One that's in South Africa. We're all over the place. So that's been something that has come out of COVID, that's for sure.
So do you travel to these places? Are you doing more traveling as a result?
I have not. Technology, when it works, has been awesome for that.
Yeah.
Now, people are required to be on the United States time, but one thing that I didn't know specifically for the people that are in the Philippines is that almost everything is 24 hours because there's so much of the workforce that works United States time. And so their shopping malls, their grocery stores, their food establishments, a lot of them are open 24 hours a day because they work the complete opposite nighttime as we do daytime. So,
I want to talk a little bit about something called Traction. I think it was a book maybe that meant a lot to you. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So about 7 years ago, I felt as if I was the spoke in the middle of the wheel. And if I wasn't there, then the wheel wasn't turning. And I don't know how I found this book, but a book called Traction. It's called the Entrepreneur Operating System. And that's what it teaches you how to do. And I consumed this book over the weekend and decided that we were going to self-implement it. There are implementers that you can hire to help companies do it, but we decided to self-implement. And on Monday, I came into the office and was like, things are changing. This is what we're doing. And the book says that it takes about 2 years to implement. And I was like, surely not. I mean, no, not going to happen. We'll be done with this in 6 months. And it takes about 2 years to implement.
Okay.
But ever since then, it teaches you who you are, where you want to go, why you want to go there. And then it teaches you how to communicate that to your team, as well as keeping them accountable for what they're expected to do, the meeting cadences, how you actually have meetings, when you have them, how you rate those meetings, and just brings complete structure to your organization. It has been life-changing for me, as well as the organization, even so much that I am not an implementer. But I have helped other companies take this book and go, this is how we did it, and walk alongside with them. So I love it so much that I felt as if it would be a disservice if I didn't help other businesses learn about it and then help them implement it as well.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of these kinds of books out, but this is something that seemed to really resonate with you, and as you say, kind of was a game changer.
Yeah, definitely.
You have a passion project.
I have a few of them. Yes. Which one are we talking about?
Well, there's one with church plants, I think, that I saw that you were involved with, which kind of got my attention.
Yeah. So a few years ago, I went on a mission trip, and this mission trip was to the Dominican Republic. And I went with a group called Esperanza. Well, I went with our church, but we partnered with a group called Esperanza. And this organization, they provide microloans to people that want to be business owners. And what I mean by microloans is this could be $1, this could be $50. So they're tiny, tiny loans.
That's pretty small, yeah.
But you also have to remember that most of the companies or most of the people that they are serving are right on the border of Haiti. So $1 is a huge amount of money for them.
Yeah.
And so when we went down there, our goal was to help them understand business a little bit more. And my presentation, and I'll never forget this, my presentation was teaching these business owners how to save money. When I tell you that somebody makes $1 a day and there's no bank that is anywhere close to them, how do you save money that way? Like, how does that work? And so going and learning about their culture and learning about what they were doing and then coming up with solutions that would work for them was completely life-changing to me. that was another part of the entrepreneurial side. Is we visited this lady that she was a pinnacle of her community because she started off with a hair salon. And what I mean by a hair salon was a chair on the side of the road that somebody would come and get their hair braided.
Yeah.
And she started with that, and she got a microloan from Esperanza to do that. And then she paid that back. And so then they gave her more money. So then she got a goat. And that's a game changer there. And she continued to build that. And that was anybody that goes on any sort of mission trip to third world country or any sort of mission trip where you're going and you're helping others, again, do good things, make great people, pursue opportunities to love and serve others is our mission. You see how lucky it is that you have, it. And I remember calling my mom and being in tears because we were visiting one of the villages, and the little kid's eyes were just yellow because of the disease that was there. And she taught me a really valuable lesson at that point. She goes, just because they don't have what you have doesn't mean that they're not happy. And that was amazing. So for quite a few years there, they were a huge part of our philanthropy and, helping them not only in the Dominican Republic, but here in the United States.
That's amazing. That's my hats off to you for serving in that way. I like to end these little visits. Sadly, we're nearing the end. But it's with a questionnaire similar to the one the late, great James Lipton would use on Inside the Actor Studio. So this is my take on it. And I'm going to ask you, Lindsey Huettner, what is your favorite word?
Joy.
Yeah.
It was on my vision board for quite a few years because I couldn't quite master it. And I still don't think that I've mastered it. I think it will be a lifetime thing. But when you're little, you have joy. Most people have a lot of joy when they're little because there aren't things not to have joy about, right? You don't have to work. There's food usually on the table. If you come from most families or a lot of families, there's loving and caring members of your family, and you have joy. And as I got older and the changes of life and hardship and failure come, that joy kind of starts to fade. And that's what I found for me. And so joy is the word.
Okay, your least favorite word?
Moist.
I've heard that before from other people. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Creatively are new projects. So new business owners that are coming to me going, this is where I want to go. How do we do it? I love that. Spiritually, music. So our church has an amazing music program. And so music has always been something that has just resonated through my body. And I've enjoyed that. And what was work? Spiritually and what?
Emotionally, creatively. Emotionally, I guess you didn't touch on.
Emotionally, just recently, I have a 1.5-year-old. Hearing him laugh.
Oh, yeah.
That's just the greatest.
I know. What turns you off then, creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Creatively, new clients that they want something done and think that they know it's the right way to do it, and that's the only way to do it. Yeah. And there are lots of memes that are out there of, if we create something for you, it's $10. If you have say in it, it's $1,000. So, right. That's hard. Spiritually, how do I say this? When there's no grace, when somebody believes that they know the way that it's supposed to be and that there's judgment and there's no grace for other people. Yeah. That's not in my belief system. That's not what we're called to do. And so just because someone's living differently or acting differently than you think that they should be, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't love them. Mm-hmm. Right. And then emotionally, what turns me off, being told what to do.
You're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
What sound do you love the most? You mentioned music, but and your child's laughter. So.
Yeah. What sound? I love the sound of the wind through the trees.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, yeah. What's your least favorite sound?
I mean, probably a common one, just the chalkboard.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've done a lot of different things in your young life, but what other profession would you like to try? You mentioned going back to bartending. That doesn't count.
Yeah. I would love to be a pastor.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So that would be the next thing that I tackle in a life that is when children are older. Mm-hmm. So I would love to be a pastor. I'd love to go to seminary. I would love to be able to pour into other people the way that they poured into me.
That's awesome. What job or profession you would not want to do? No, thanks. I'll pass on that.
What would I not want to do? What would I not want to do? I could not do anything in the medical field.
Yeah.
Nope. I mean, maybe if it's a job in the medical field, great, maybe. But the rest of it just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Well, it's, I'm grateful for them, but yeah, that's not something I could. And I've interviewed doctors who've said, I couldn't be a lawyer, so everybody's got their thing. One last question for you, Lindsey. What do you want to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You've done well, my faithful servant.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty scriptural. Lindsey, you are a delight. Thank you so much for spending a little time with us today to tell us about your journey into this amazing world of marketing and how you've been able to help business owners to get to that next level in what they're doing. How can folks get in touch with you, learn more about your business?
Yeah, so we are anywhere and everywhere online. So it's www.theitcrowd.com. You can find us on pretty much any social media platform that you can think of, except for TikTok. we're not doing dances here. But yeah, you can find us anywhere online, but the website is probably the best way to go.
Oh, that's great. Lindsey, thank you so much for your time. And thank you for watching and listening to Central Texas Life. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Central Texas Life with Ann Harder is part of the Rogue Media family. Be sure to check out our other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. Please rate this show 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Join us again soon for more Central Texas Life with Ann Harder. Are you a podcaster? Let's talk podcast hosting. Are you tired of your current podcast host? Need real support in a community that gets it? At Rogue Media Network, we offer top-tier podcast hosting services to help you thrive. From hosting and distribution to dedicated support, we've got you covered. Starting as low as $25 a month. Join our community of passionate podcasters today. Contact us at hello@roguemedianetwork.com.